They are just needing the strength to release their vehicles.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Vibrant Sons podcast. Today, I'm super happy and excited about this episode because I am live at the Big Brothers Big Sisters Association of Metro Atlanta.
Yes.
And I'm here with Miss Juliet Udeochu.
Good. Okay. Yes.
And Miss Juliet Udeochu, you are, let me see if I got this right. You are an enrollment specialist here.
No, that's what it has online.
I think I might have just said the wrong thing.
No. I'm community. I used to be recruitment.
Okay.
I just kind of got to step up in life. So shout out. Hard work paying off. Community engagement specialist.
Okay, community engagement specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the differences in those two roles?
So basically, with the enrollment specialist, the big part of my job is going out and actually recruiting bigs.
Okay.
You know, we'll talk about the waiting list a little bit later, focus on like how that was a really big part of my job. But in the process of, you know, I'm a go-getter and I really think outside the box, different ways to expand, cultivate relationship with other organizations, companies, brand recognition, and just getting our name out there, because the big thing is that we get confused with Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And it's our goal, but as far as me, my job is to be out in the community. So my goal is that when I talk about this program and I walk away or you introduce me to someone else, I don't want you to introduce me as Boys and Girls Club. I want you to know Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Exactly.
When you see the logo, when you see me, you know I'm Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
So I just been really out there trying to building relationships and just getting out there, you know, representing Big Brothers Big Sisters and the importance of mentoring and how we're really impacting the youth, not just in Atlanta, but all over the world. So it's like I was talking about earlier, it keeps me very busy, but it's busy in a good sense because I actually really enjoy the work that I'm doing.
And that's what we'll be talking about today, is all about just how important it is to have mentorship programs like this and the impact that you guys actually have on the youth that you encounter. But before we get into that, I mean, you've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters for about 2 years
No, I haven't even been in Atlanta for 2 years.
No way.
I moved to Atlanta.
Oh, a year.
I've been in Atlanta for a year. I actually made it a year in April, but I'm going to be with Big Brothers Big Sisters a year next month.
Okay.
So I'm almost there.
The thing is that my research is wrong. I'm not paying attention to my paper.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to look you in your eyes.
Okay.
And I don't want to look too much at my paper.
It's cool because even like the meeting I was telling you at this morning, this guy walked up to me and he was like, "I've never seen you, but I've been seeing you for the past 2 months at these meetings, but you're really vocal." He was like, "How long have you lived in Atlanta?" And I was like, "Only a year." And he was like, "Get out of here." And I was like, I mean, you know, you can't just go somewhere. You have to go and like fully immerse to make sure you make it. So I think it's what I did with Atlanta and what I did with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I even sometimes confuse myself forgetting how long I've been out here.
Okay. Well, and before you were here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, you were with Best Buddies.
Yeah.
And you're from LA, so was that out in California?
Yeah, so that was out in California. So I've always worked in kind of nonprofit or just focus on the community. So I worked with Best Buddies for a year. It was a nonprofit. We worked with individuals with intellectual disabilities. I worked for the jobs department. So my job was going out and cultivating relationships with companies and telling them the benefits of hiring a person with a disability. So, you know, it seems hard because it's hard for a regular person to get a job, right? So going in and convincing these companies why you should hire this person with autism or cerebral palsy and what it can do for the work morale and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And before that, I ran a daycare for 8 years. Did you
Learning Ladder.
The Learning Ladder.
Childcare.
Yes, is my baby. Coming out of college, I got my degree in developmental psychology. And I was like, I didn't want to be a teacher. I knew I didn't want to be a, it's like, I just loved kids 0 to 5. And my parents gave me a proposition. I worked in schools all through college. So we opened up this daycare. I ran it for 8 years, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show everyone that you're out here and you're doing the good work, and you're not a stranger to out there advocating for different people, and your work is appreciated. I mean, I'm very impressed, and I'm glad that I'm able to sit here and speak with you. So before we get into the meat of the podcast, I do want to ask you just a couple icebreaker type questions, just to
get it going. Okay.
So before we start, so what superpower would you like to have if you could have any superpower? Really basic.
Funny, because someone just asked me that the other day.
Yeah.
And I think it's corny and cliche for what I do, but if I can have a superpower, I would like to stop violence and killing.
But you don't have a specific way.
I just want to end it. Just figure out a way to just stop it before it happens.
Yeah, you'll be like stop lady.
Stop lady. Yeah, I'm the stop lady or peace lady.
Yeah.
If I can have one superpower, people are like, oh, I can have all the money or transport.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds super cliche because I'm a nonprofit. Whatever, Juliet. But if I can do one thing, it would be that.
Stop crime.
Yeah.
Everything just in its tracks.
Yeah, I'm just not big on just hearing about death and violence and all that. So if I can do one thing.
And that's needed right now. I mean, with everything
this crazy world we live in. Yeah, so I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. So then when you're not fighting crime, when you're not with big brothers, big sisters, how do you recharge your battery, like in your free time?
I enjoy life.
Yeah.
I am the epitome of life enjoyment. My family calls me enjoyment minister. I love doing everything. There's not, if it's like restaurants, I'm still new to Atlanta, so I'm still in tourist mode. So going to new places, going to museums, going up Stone Mountain, getting lost. It's weird. Getting lost is my fun thing to do. Sometimes I'll just drive without the GPS. And if I'm in a cool neighborhood, I'll do that. First time I did that, I got stuck in Bankhead, and I'll never do that again. I got stuck in Bankhead.
And what's the story behind that?
I turned off my GPS, and then I'm driving up north side, so I'm thinking it'll keep getting nicer. And it doesn't. So I was like, okay, where am I? And I just called my cousin, and he was like, wait, where did you go? I was like, I just went all the way north side. He was like, yeah, you in Bankhead. Just hurry, lock your doors and just get out. And I was like, okay, so I learned my lesson with that. And with that being said, it's crazy on how the communities change so fast out here. You know what I mean? In LA, we're just used to like Compton, Watts, and the Compton and Watts has nothing on Bankhead. Like driving past blocks of abandoned homes and kids outside during the daytime. So that, we'll get on that with this. But and when that happened, I was even working for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and how a big number of our kids come from that community. It's just like, all right, what can we do to help them?
Yeah.
So
that was an eye opener for you then.
That was learn the different and disparities from here to LA.
Yeah.
It's really night and day. Yeah.
And then, so the last question, well, since you touched on LA, you went to Narbonne High School, right? Narbonne? No? So
what the internet likes to do,
man, I got this
me
so
and my
wrong.
sister, we look like twins.
Oh, really?
So a lot of our information online, or even our pictures, will always cross.
Okay.
So my sister went to Narbonne, I went to Carson High.
Oh, man.
So
I need to throw out all my talking.
No. Right when you said Narbonne, I'm like, oh yeah, something with Joanne. So yeah, so me and my sister, we're like, when it happens to us in person, it's cool. But when we Google ourselves or see things online, and our stuff cross, no. But I went to Carson High.
So to prepare for this interview, I should have just Googled your sister.
I'm telling you, you would have found the right stuff for me under her name. Yeah.
Okay. Well then, so who's your personal hero?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom, she's so dope. She's my best friend. She's, the head of my family, although my dad is the head of my family. My mom, my parents, I'm from Nigeria, so growing up, my dad was really successful in Nigeria, so my mom moved here. So I was born in America but moved back to Nigeria when I was 2 weeks old. My parents are crazy. And after that, after my sister was born, my mom was pregnant again, and they decided to split our family in two, half country here, whatever. So then after a while, my other two siblings moved here, and my mom literally held down the fort. My mom did 2 master's programs, two undergrads while working full-time jobs, working part-time jobs. I was just saying today, like, we didn't even know that we were like poor growing up until we actually made money. Like when my mom broke into her career, we look back, we were like, we were poor. Yeah. But she made our life so good that we never understood, even like we at first didn't live in the greatest community, but our mom kind of, you know, kept us at a school far. My mom had us in sports, summer camp, just different things that just didn't let our community affect us. And she's just a, you know, amazing woman. And like, you know, I try my best to emulate a lot of things that she does, and, you know, show her that I see you. You know, when you're young, you don't really appreciate your parents as much until you get older and you see the struggle and the grind. So it's my mama, mommy.
Moms have a great superpower of being able to do that.
Yeah.
Just mask everything that's going on, and you don't even realize everything that's going on.
It's like, what? We were poor?
Yeah.
Funny story, I wanted a pair of Charles Barkley's. I'm always into shoes. My mom couldn't afford it, so she bought me a Payless pair. And I went to school and I just got ripped. My mom felt so bad that she went and bought me the real pair. And then I didn't want to wear them because I was like, these are fake. And she was like, no, look at the price tag. And mom, you know, she didn't have to do that. She knows things that kids go through or whatever. So just little things like that as a kid that she always, you know, did to hold it down.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your father, you said, still lives in...
No, my dad's here now.
So now he's here.
Yeah. So now, my dad moved to America when he was like 15. And I was like... He was going back and forth, but he stayed for sure when I was like 14, 15.
And so then, does that mean that you speak Igbo?
I don't speak Igbo at all. My parents made us to American, and now they get mad, like, you don't know anything about the culture. I'm like, it's because of you guys. Yeah. So I understand it, but I don't speak it.
So then, but does the accent come out sometimes?
Yeah, it does. Like, I lived in Nigeria until I was 4 years old, and when I first moved to America, they said it was so hard for me to, my American accent to come in. So I didn't really even have I was speaking, you know, like a Nigerian, probably like 6, 7 years old. And it just went away one day.
Yeah. So then, now that we have you on this podcast, and I'm so happy to have you here, I think now's a good time to get into, you know, what we're trying to talk about and get back into business mode a little bit.
Yes.
But still have fun while we're doing it. With Big Brothers Big Sisters, you guys do a lot of great things, especially with mentorship. It's one-on-one mentorship in the community. And the mission really is to provide children facing adversity with strong and enduring, professionally supported, one-to-one relationships that can change their lives for the better forever.
I say that like 15 times a week. I can just recite that in my head. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all over the website. And but when I read that, you know, that spoke to me, just the part about children facing adversity. And what this podcast is that we talk about specifically adversity that we're born into. So we can't always, you know, when we're born into this world, we don't dictate what skin color we are. We don't dictate our family dynamics. You know, we're born into some of these situations and we're forced to deal with it. And so in this podcast, you know, we have people come on and talk about growing up in non-traditional families, single mothers, single fathers, or anywhere on that diaspora, and talk about the challenges that they've had to face, but ultimately how they've overcome them. And we talk about, you know, when we talk about these adversities, you see that it can affect single parents a little more than when there's a 2-parent household or when it's low income versus high income. And what you guys do with Big Brothers Big Sisters is kind of bridge that gap to so that there's equity among families and among children in our metro cities.
And not just all over the world.
All over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
So, with that being said, I would like to hear your description of like Big Brothers Big Sisters for everyone who does get it confused with the Boys and Girls Club.
Not Boys and Girls Club.
So,
at all.
Set the record straight. What do you guys do specifically?
So, what we focus on, I like to say that we're relationship building. When you think about mentoring, people always think about going to the park, playing basketball with a group of kids, reading, helping out with homework. But no, what we're doing is we're providing that one-to-one relationship. You have to think about it when you're talking about the kids facing adversities, right? What is the first thing you said? Single parent. Mm-hmm. So if you come from a single parent household, the one thing that you may be lacking is that attention, that one-to-one attention, that stability, that person to just talk to and tell you that, it's gonna be okay, help you out with school, take you out of your community, expose you to things that you will probably never see if you don't leave your community. Thinking about Atlanta, there's kids who could bring up Bankhead, who've never been outside of Bankhead, that they feel that Midtown is an hour away. When it's literally I drive 6 minutes away.
Or even in LA, like kids who grew up in Compton.
In Compton,
never been to the beach.
Never been to the beach, never been. And what we're doing is we're bridging that gap, right? So what Big Brother Big Sister we're doing is that we're pairing a big, which is the volunteer, with the little, which is the mentee. And the great thing about us that makes us different is that we're just not saying, okay, you're a boy, you're a girl, you're a boy. You're female, go out. No. Because we're relationship building, right? Just like any relationship, if there's no chemistry, is it gonna last? No. Yeah. So the great thing about, we're actually in an interview room right now. So we interview not just the mentors, because the kids are gonna come. There's we have a waiting list right now, 700 boys. The kids are gonna come. What we need are mentors. So what we're trying to do is create that stable relationships. When we're interviewing the mentors, we're asking them, your preferences, the age, we're asking you about life experience. Then we'll say, describe to me your perfect little. Or were you like a laid back child or active child when you were a child? How are you? Because, when we're interviewing the kid, on the other hand, we're asking, what subject are you struggling? Tell me your perfect mentor. If you can describe to me your perfect mentor, tell me. And then we're interviewing the parents, the mom, the dad, grandmother. We're asking them, what do you want your child to achieve out of this program? So we're creating a family. We're making sure that we're meeting everyone's need. For the mentors, if you're telling me that you want a active kid, we give you a quiet kid. After a while, you're gonna get bored, and what's gonna happen? That match is gonna end. But we're trying to give these kids a stability. So we want to make sure that when they're matched, that there's chemistry on both ends, all ends with the parents as well, because we want the match to last. We want the impact to last. So we're not coming in and reading a book. We're not coming in and playing basketball. No, we're changing lives. We're creating relationships. We're taking our time to make sure that we're going to have an impact. And not just the kid's life, but the mentor's life. We get so many mentors who come back, or, I like to have a lot of mentors come speak. I do a lot of speaking engagements here. And I like to get the mentors to speak, because when you come into this as a mentor, you're really thinking about, how can I change a child's life, right? You're not thinking about how that child could change my life. And then you're talking to mentors like, I didn't know that I can open up to somebody like this. My little helped me not be shy. Or I was going through something at work, and I didn't want to talk about it at work. I was afraid, but I told my little, and he was just like, just tell them you don't like it, or whatever, And or even like when you talk about communities, like mentors are being exposed to other lives. Think about it, a lot of our mentors are pretty well off, you know what I mean? So they're going to a part of Atlanta or the world that they didn't know that was so bad or didn't know what they were going through. So like everyone is being exposed to something different. Everyone's life is being changed for the better forever. That's the last tagline of our mission statement. You know, we say changing the child's life for the better forever, but the mentor's life is being changed already. Like, I don't know if you saw that. I was a little.
Yeah.
I had a big sister.
You had your 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, so yeah.
It was in February.
Yeah.
This past
and then
February.
she just checked me because it was 21 years.
21.
My big sister, she just came to the office like 3 weeks ago. And and if you look at me, I'm not the typical child facing adversity. Came from a 2-parent home, big house. Like I said, my parents have degrees up the yin yang. You know what I mean? But with that, my mom just felt, well, I did need it. I was a real active child, you know? Active is me saying bad in a good way. And I was a middle child, and my mom was just like, I'm half and half single parent because my dad was off and on, you know, because he was working in Nigeria. And it was just like, I can't focus on this one child and then focus on all the other kids. And then I played basketball, I played soccer. I used to think I was a comedian. I loved Def Comedy Jams. I was getting in trouble all the time in class trying to get
Who's your favorite?
Oh man, Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
Hamburger. I used to always say that. There's a lot of things on Def Comedy Jams I can't say on this. But I would literally get up in class and just think I was a comedian. I think that's why public speaking is easy for me, because I in my head wanted to be a comedian all my life. So my mom enrolled me into the program, and then for me it just trickled down to my 2 other sisters. You know, my other sister, she still has, you know, she was in her big sister's wedding. You know what I mean? And these are just relationships that I wasn't open to in the beginning, because I'm like, I got a mom, she your age, why, you know? But it was our chemistry that has helped this relationship last 21 years. Her birthday was actually yesterday, and I forgot to call her, so I need to call her after this interview. But yeah, so that's just, I think, I know I'm rambling, but that's the difference when you think about us and a Boys and Girls Club, or going and mentoring kids at a library. It's great that you're doing it. I'm not saying that those type of mentoring programs are worthless, they don't work. But if you want to look at the impact, the one-to-one professionally supported. And so you're not being matched and thrown in the woods. No, we have match support specialists.
It's like a matchmaker.
Yeah, like our matchmakers, our match coach, even like our enrollment specialists, which you thought I was, they're the ones who actually put the match together.
Okay.
They sit down at one of our long tables out there, and they literally go through interviews. Oh, this child, and they'll sit and they'll read through all these interviews, taking time. Oh, well, you know, this guy lives like a little like far, 15 minutes. We match on distance as well, because Atlanta traffic, we don't, you know. So then they'll call. We're like, hey, we have this little, he matches this, but he's about 10 minutes out of how far you want to drive. And then we'll leave it to the mentor to tell us yes or no.
Okay.
You know, and after your match, you have your match support specialist. And he or she calls you once a month, calls the mentor, the mentee, and the parent. We want to hold everybody accountable. We want to make sure that these numbers that we're going to talk about, that we're going to achieve that through that. We have, you know, we give out basketball tickets. We do events here every weekend. You know, we don't want mentors to think that I have to spend $1 million to be a mentor. I have to change my life to be a mentor. No, we really help you out through the whole way through. Like, you're never alone in this process. And I love that about it, because a lot of things you sign up for, and you end up being stranded, or they tell you one thing and it ends up being another thing. But with us, we really, like, I think to work any type of nonprofit job, you have to have a heart for it. But we take our time to, you know, guarantee or make sure that every match is a successful match. Of course, things happen throughout. It can happen. But like, you know, our longest matches are like 37.5 months. You know what I mean? It's almost 4 years. So they last long. They can last 21 years like me.
So, but so on paper, I mean, on paper, a big can last for how long before it's just, becomes a more personal relationship?
So on paper, so we take kids into the program from ages 6 to 14 years old.
Okay.
Of course, when they hit adolescence, it's kind of harder to like come in. So 6 to 14 years old. So because we focus on education, right, we look at graduating from high school as a culmination of your match.
Okay.
So after you graduate from high school, we have a big graduation ceremony that we do for our seniors. Your match in our system closes. So then you have two choices. You can stop communication, or you can maintain that relationship with your little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get into the numbers in just a second because the numbers speak for themselves.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah. But what I did want to touch on before we do that is that on a previous episode where I had a licensed clinical social worker come on, and he talked about like when you talk about single parent households or two parent households, what really matters is not necessarily the number of parents in the house, but the number of attentiveness presence of that parent or parents. So when you have just one person in the home giving their full attention to that child, then that means the world to that person, and can transform them for the better. And that's what this is all about. When you have a match, just having that attentive presence there, that's where you're able to get these strong numbers. Like how you guys have, is it 99% of your littles avoid the juvenile system completely?
Yes.
And I think that's amazing. Yeah. And I think it's is it 89 or 98 that graduate from high school?
98% graduate.
98.
And the graduation rate in Atlanta is like 64%.
Wow.
So like I said, that goes back to that educational part of the matching. We don't ask our mentors to be tutors, But if you're good in a subject and there's a child who's struggling in that subject, that's one way. So we have a site-based program as well. So site-based program is when we work with local schools in Atlanta, and we match them with students, college students that go to Georgia State, and now we just added Clark and Morehouse and Spelman for next school year. And I love that program because you have kids who probably be the first high school graduates in their family, and they're thinking towards college. However, the hard thing is that how do I think towards college when I have never seen a college person, right? In front of me. A lot of these kids, they don't know what college students look like. But then you have these amazing students from Georgia State, who are young, hip, cute. Girls are cute, guys are cute, they dress nice, they're cool, they're trendy, but they're in college. So it's my favorite part when we do the match meeting, and the bigs and littles get to meet each other for the first time. It's so funny because you think the littles would be nervous, but the bigs are always nervous. They're like, oh, are they gonna like me? Am I cool? But when they see their faces, they're just like, it was this one match, and the boy wasn't really too open about the program. So I just asked him, just told him the benefits about it, and then finally he said, okay. So I matched him with this amazing mentor. The day when I had the match party, him and his big brother both had the same Jordans on. And it was like, oh, cool. It was just like, and then being at the school again and interviewing some more kids and seeing him coming to see his little was amazing. So like, that's that relationship part of it, you know what I mean? And the educational part, and hearing after, when you're doing your updates and saying, oh, I want to go to college. I had a boy who was matched, and his big brother was killed not too far before he was matched. And so I interviewed him. How to be like you, I'm creating a video. So I've been going around interviewing the kids about their matches. And the one thing the boy said to me, he said, I like the fact that my big brothers, big sisters, did not try to take the place of mine. This boy's in 7th grade. Before I read, he's in 7th grade. He said, I like the fact that my big brother did not try to take the place of my brother who died. What my big brother did is he's teaching me core values to make sure that I don't make the same mistake as my brother.
Wow.
Seventh grader.
Yeah, for seventh grade.
And I was just like, oh gosh, I love my job. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what they're there. Like, we ask Bigs, tell them you're not a substitute parent.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a peer. You're not a social worker or a counselor, unless that's your real job, in real life. You're just here, you're a nurturer of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to be that extra support.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's interesting to me sometimes when you think about that dynamic, because some people may have different ideas of big brothers, big sisters because of, I guess the name implies like a sibling type of relationship. So you think that it may be like around the same ages. Yeah. But you said that you were matched with someone who was around the same age as your mom.
My mom, she was actually older than my mom. And I was like, who's this old lady?
Yeah.
I do not want her. Like, literally, older than my mom.
But it's all about the relationship.
It was the relationship. Our things is basketball, Lakers, Kobe. Big Laker fan.
Mm-hmm.
She is as well.
Even still.
Still Laker fan. Still a Kobe fan. Never ever gonna change. Shopping and eating.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our Sundays. We'll go to Cheesecake Factory on the beach.
Yeah.
Our second outing together, and I'm still not open with her. I'm still like, got my attitude, I'm bad. And it was like, we'll go to a basketball game. So I'm like, basketball. Never been to a Laker game before. And I'm just like, this is still the height of new Kobe. Excited. And my big sister surprised me with courtside seats. Basically, we're like 3 seats from the floor.
Wow.
Yeah. And she didn't have to do that, but I guess that was just her way of like bridging the gap to show that I may be older, but I'm cool. I understand you. I listen to you, and which was super dope.
Courtside tickets.
Yeah, my big sister was a baller, so that made it different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And she never tried to like step in, like
she never
kind of be like your stepmother.
No, and
like
she
that.
actually helped the relationship with my mom. Because to my family, I was actually the first generation American, because my brother and my sister lived in Nigeria. They were like 11, 12. I was the only one who fully like went through elementary. So I'm growing up super Americanized, and my parents didn't understand like slumber parties. I love basketball. You're a girl. Why do you want to play basketball? So my big sister was there to actually bridge the cultural gap for my parents and myself. Because if I didn't have my big sister, I wouldn't be allowed to do a lot of things growing up. Because in Nigeria, we don't do sleepover. Why would strangers want to? Why would we let you sleep at a stranger's house when you have a house right here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was the one to say, well, this is what girls do. This is what. So she'd be like, Emelita, can you call my mom? She said I can't go to homecoming. Emelita, can you So she was always there to not to take place, but she really was just that cultural gap between
bridge
my
the
parents.
cultural divide. And that's awesome. And and you said that there's an abundance of littles.
Oh yeah.
But you said you guys kind of have issues trying to recruit bigs into the program or trying to find them.
It's men. We have right now, it says 646, but it's actually a little bit over 7. And about 250 girls. It went down. So the thing about us is that we don't turn families away. We're here to serve as many kids, because think about it, we match our preferences.
Yeah.
So we can have a boy who's sitting on the waiting list for months, right? And none of his characteristics or things with his profile match mentors. Then we can have a boy who's coming for a month, and what he has matches what this mentor wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we don't want to keep mentors on the waiting list. We don't want to keep kids on the waiting list. But the thing with men is that we just need men to step up. Yeah. What I'm learning, like I said earlier, like a big part of my job is that this waiting list keeps me up at night. So I'm like focused, like I'm really honed in on. If I see a group of men at a bar, my friends be like, come on, Juliet, it's a weekend. I'm like, I carry my card, I have this, I broke this down to like 4 squares, and I keep it in my purse, and I walk up to guys, and I'm just like, hey, have you ever thought about being a mentor? Did you ever have a mentor? Nah. No one helped you? Nah. Think about it. Oh yeah, I did have my coach, and that guy in church used to talk to me, and I got in trouble, and my neighbor used to look at, he was your mentor.
Yeah.
He was your informal mentor.
Yeah.
And the thing is, women and men, our brains are wired different. You know, guys, you guys are taught to not to be tough, to not show emotion. So I think with that, whatever part of the brain that is, it fogs up these certain memories until someone brings it out.
Yeah.
So I can say a big part of my job is bringing out those memories and think about how that person helped you impact your life in some type of way, and just say like, I have 700 boys who need what you had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just really trying to get men to step up and give back.
Yeah, so all you guys out there that's listening, you gotta step up and
Step up.
come out here and be a mentor, and that's what this is all about. You know, I wanted you to come on here, share what you guys do, and show the impact that you guys have, and show why it's important to be a mentor or to seek out a mentor.
Yeah.
And so everyone who's listening, I really encourage all of you guys to get involved with the Big Brothers Big Sisters program if you can.
Should I say my information on here, or can you post it? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'll post it.
Okay.
We'll definitely tag and all that stuff, and at the end, I'll let you do that.
Okay.
So we'll definitely make it an easy process, but I know that the process is something that doesn't happen overnight to become a mentor, because I know I've been getting those calls. Okay. And it's kind of like a screening process.
It's a screening process. We work with kids, so child safety is the number one thing. Think about it. We're sending kids out with strangers, so of course we want to make sure you're not a mass murderer. You know what I mean? The extensive, we do reference checks with four people. We do background checks. We do driver's check. If you had any DUIs or felonies or anything, we make sure that the mentor is fully passive. I mean, we have to, turn away some mentors sometimes, but it's child safety. We have to make sure that there are liability. You know what I mean? These kids' lives are really in our hands, so we want to make sure that we're sending them out with good people.
So if I'm a prospective mentor and I want to get involved and become big, what can I anticipate coming in? What are some of the steps that I would just already know I have to go through? Because I guess my thought was, hey, I signed my name, and they're like, all right, you match with James, and you match with...
No, and it goes back again to like, we want to make sure that you're the candidate. We want to make sure that you're fully, because we ask for you to commit 1 year. Yeah. Of course, that 1 year can grow, but we ask, can you commit to 1 year and 2 outings a month? Your lives are busy, and that's a lot of things we get from young professional. My life, my time. We ask mentors to share time, right? Get back to your question, but share time is something that I kind of created. From talking to different mentors. So it's not changing your life. It's finding things, of course you guys have things in common, or find things that you may do. I had a mentor who told me that him and his little brother, the little brother's favorite thing to do was to wash his mentor's car.
That was his favorite thing.
And you know why?
He had a nice car.
His parents didn't have cars.
Oh, his parents didn't.
And he never washed the car before.
Wow.
And through that time that they're washing the car, it's not child labor at all, but they're talking. How's school going? How's this going? Teaching core value, you're just having conversation. Another thing I like to do is like going to the grocery store, going to Target. That may sound, nothing to us, right? We have to do these things as adults. But think about it. You tell your little, we're going to go into Target with $50, all right? $50 and you have to be out of here in 45 minutes. Right there, you're teaching your little budgeting, time management, healthy eating habits, and you're just walking down the aisles and talking. Yeah. And that time that you're spending walking with him or her down the aisle, imagine if he didn't talk to his mom or dad all week. He didn't have anyone to get off his chest or just talk to or laugh with or just talk about school or sports. To us, that 45 minutes to that little boy is everything.
Yeah, and that's something that I know some people have kind of told me. Like once I started doing this, the podcast and everything, and we focus on non-traditional families. But there's people who tell me, I grew up with both my parents, and I couldn't necessarily speak to them, so they kind of feel like alone in their families. And that's why a mentor is important, because they come in and you can have that more personal relationship with them that you may not be able to have with your parents.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feel like and complain about it, because you're grateful for your parents, you're grateful for everything that they do for you, but you may not always click on a personal level. So that helps bridge that divide a little bit. It gives you what you need.
And think about it. Who like talking to their parents? Like, I can tell my mom so much stuff, you know what I mean? But yet you have this big sister who could be the same age as your mom and dad, or big brother, but it's easier talking to strangers, right? So just having that person to talk to.
And then it's easier for them to translate to your parents.
I told you, my big sister was the gatekeeper to my social life as a kid. So
and so then so back to the question though. So outside of the background checks and everything, if I want to become a mentor, what should I expect, or how long should I expect the process to be?
Okay, so you go to orientation, led by me, and that's when I just break down just the surface of the program, expectations for the bigs, the 1 year commitment, 2 times a month. Different mentoring styles, the impact that we play on the lives of youth in Atlanta, just the basic, because it's a quick 45-minute orientation, and then after that you fill out your application, you set your interview. And like I said, the interview is not a job interview. I always tell people, don't get nervous just because you hear interview. It's to get to know you. And after your interview, we have something called Do Something Big training, and mentors love this training because it gets down to the nitty-gritty communication styles, child safety, how to talk to kids, how to deal with kids from different socioeconomically or cultural background than you. It just breaks down everything about that. So while you're in that training in the back, we're going through your references, your 4 references. I always tell people, treat this application like a job interview. Of course, like a job application. You're only going to put down people who you trust, or who you're going to count on, or who will say good things on you, right? On your reference. So do that with it, and because that's the one thing that holds people back, is that. And after that, it's your preference. You can be a big brother and say, I just want to give back. We have some guys who come in and say, I just want to give back. I just want the kid to be 10 minutes away from me. I don't care about race. I don't care about age. I don't care about blah, blah, blah. I just want a mentor. You'll be matching in a week.
Wow. Okay.
But if you have only want a little here, only want this, the more you get into it, the more picky you are, that's the longer it takes. So, it can take from a few weeks to a few months. It's really up to what you state in your interview.
And the trainings, though, those get knocked out in like a day? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Trainings are quick. You do the orientation 45 minutes, I believe. Do Something Big trainings about an hour and 30 minutes maybe. And then you do a child safety online training at home. Okay. And it's something new that they added, and the new mentors love it. And of course, it's like a job, or this is not like a job, but it's just getting training to make sure that you fully understand what you're doing, what you're fully getting yourself into. So that's why we create the orientation, because we want to make sure that before you sign up and you commit to this child, that you fully understand what you're getting to.
Yeah. And that's awesome. So before you got into your career, was it influenced by, did your big influence you to kind of go on this path, or was this already something that was intuitively inside?
No. I just thought I should be like a superstar or something like that. I love people. I love giving back. I'm the weirdest empathetic person ever in the world. I just have this weird, big, weird heart. And the older I I got, right? So I actually went to school. I thought I wanted to be a teacher at first. I just always loved kids. But then, like, I wanted to get into, like, entertainment and just all this stuff might be everywhere. But I think what pushed me into nonprofit is just my daycare and seeing what these different kids are going through, different families are going through. The daycare was in a good area, but a lot of my kids came from Compton Watts area. A lot of young single moms, and just looking at the family dynamic, and if this don't change now, learning that 0 to 5 is the most critical time of anyone's life. What happens to you could, those first 5 years of your life, it really sets the direction of your emotional, cognitive, everything. And that's what it started from. I feel like the reason why a lot of people do certain things, or they don't know certain things in this family dynamic, is cultural. So much. So I think with that just started gearing my, my life moving, and I not knowing, like, I grew up really strict Nigerian, and our lives compared to African American lives are night and day. That's one thing my big sister taught me as well, because I used to be like, I'm Nigerian. She used to be like, girl, once you walk out that door and they see your skin, they hear Juliet name, you black. And me moving here really helped me understand the disparities of African Americans. And I kind of feel like I have to try my best to change the lives of the youth. I'm all about all youth, but the disparities of African Americans, especially boys, and I will feel like I'm not fulfilling my purpose in life. Even if I leave big brothers, big sisters, I love it. But if anything, I feel like I will always have my hand in some way in the community, trying to better the lives of, black boys and girls. So, it's my calling. My friends are like, oh, you moved to Atlanta, turn to Mother Teresa. That's all I post about. It's like, whatever. But yeah, I think that's my calling, and learning just the difference. Because like I said, if you was in the hood, if you was in Compton. You know what I mean? Out here, you could be in Buckhead, and the street over. It's just a horror. I've never seen stuff like that before. It's like, when you're in a bad neighborhood. But out here, it's just so night and day. And the fact that these kids are literally across the street from all of these great things, and they don't know anything about it. So what can we do to bridge that gap to give them exposure, right? So they can go to college and they can know more than what's in their backyard. So I feel like that's a great thing of working here, and what's really helped me with my life focus right now.
It's just that continual evolution until you become stop lady completely. But so this episode right here, though, is for everyone who listens to this podcast and may not always feel like they can relate to the stories, but still, loves what I'm doing, or wants to be involved with everything. And I really encourage everyone to become a mentor in any way that you can. And this just shows, we have the numbers, we have the experiences. Like it's nice that you came on here as a professional, but you also came on as someone who experienced the entire thing. And you were little at one point, and so the power that this organization has and the impact that it can have. So I really encourage everyone out there to really get involved with the program. Do what you can to become a mentor. And again, I appreciate you for being on. And so now this is the time where you can plug in all your professional things, and where we can find you, get in contact with you.
Okay. I want to say, for guys, Real Men Mentor. That's my slogan that I'm using every time I meet a guy. Real Men Mentor.
I think that's still funny to me, just picturing you like at a bar and like that guy's cute. Let me see if he wants to be a mentor.
Literally, we were it was at a lounge for my birthday,
Yeah.
And a Big Brothers Big Sisters commercial came on. Why? I don't even know why I was playing so late at night. When I said it here, they were like, what? We didn't even know we had commercials. And I got so pumped.
Yeah.
And from this guy hearing me get pumped, he actually walked to me and he was like, I used to be a little brother. My big brother helped me, you know, I'm a real estate agent now, and without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I was like, dope, why are you not a big brother? He's like, oh, I just got DUI. I was like, okay, well, that's why. But just to hear those type of stories, you know what I mean? Yeah, get out. I know sometimes it may seem like it's hard or you don't have time, but like what I ask people to do is think about who benefit your life, who impact you in a positive way, who was there when, you know, your parents weren't there, or who motivated you, a teacher, a counselor, someone in church, a neighbor. We all have formal and informal mentors. So, you know, if you're thinking about giving back, if you've never thought about giving back, I think you should check out Big Brothers Big Sisters, no matter where. Is it just in Atlanta? It's all over.
Well, this, no, this is going out worldwide as well.
We're worldwide,
Yeah.
Okay? So if you thought about being a mentor, you should really, you know, check it out. We're really out here changing lives for the better forever.
Awesome.
You can find me on my LinkedIn, something more professional. It's Juliet, Juliet, Udeochu, Udeochu. You can send me emails if you want to know more about the program at Juliet again, Juliet Udeochu, Udeochu at bbbsatl.org.
Okay, awesome. And if you want to know even more about her, all you have to do is Google Joanne.
No, yeah.
Udeochu, and then you'll be able to find even more information.
Yes.
But so thank you again so much for coming on, and we'll link everything in the description for this podcast, all that stuff. So we'll tag you everything, everything that you want us to have, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, so if everyone who's listening, I just want to go ahead and say, you know, thank you guys for taking the time. If you made it this far, I want to say that I love you, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around. So you can always, you know, find us on vibrantsons.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Share it with all your friends and encourage, you know, if you're not eligible, if you just had a DUI or anything and you're not eligible to be a big,
tell a friend.
Tell someone else, and really get the word out there, because this is a great program and they're doing great things, and it's not to be confused with the Boys and Girls Club.
Not at all.
So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.